The 2013 World Field Target Federation World Championships is to be held in Ebern, Germany, and will feature the most competitive field ever assembled. With more previous world champions in attendance than any other year, the 2013 championship is set to be the toughest worlds yet. Many of the competitors will make the journey across Europe by car, especially those from the UK. Although when travelling with the correct paperwork, airlines are usually pretty good when it comes to checking an air rifle onto a flight. However, there have been issues in previous years. Some airports have been ill-prepared for the sheer volume of competitors requiring processing in such a short space of time. And with the air rifle out of sight, there's always the risk of taking a slight knock and causing an issue with the setup. With so much time and preparation going into every shooter's World Championship quest, many would rather avoid any risk.
This year's going to be a really tough tournament. We've got a couple of big hitters out shooting this year. Andy Kalpman, he's just won the Showdown with a phenomenal run, the British Championships and the Grand Prix Series, so he's really on fire at the minute. Jack Harris coming third in the GP Series, a lad from Wales, and he's also just won the British Masters. We've also got a lot of big hitters from around the outside of England and Wales as well. Conor McFlynn, previous world champion from Ireland, and Pepe, who's won the Spanish Open twice now and the World Championships. And there's a good few outside shouts as well, people like Simon Ayres, who's always one to watch. You can never discount him, so this year is going to be a pretty tough tournament.
The 2012 World Championships were held in the beautiful town of Isfjorden in Norway. The 2012 world champion was England's Andy Gillett, with a final score of 143 from 150. Reigning champion Andy will no doubt be in the running again, but there's a very competitive field for 2013. John Costello's fourth place finish will be hard to better this year, but he has come close to winning the World Championships once before.
Second in the world in 2009. First day, James Woodhead was way ahead, and then second day I kind of clawed a few back on him, and third day again clawed back on him, and he missed I think one of his last two targets to put us in tiebreak. So that was our shoot-off was I think it was either 12 or 15 mil target at 30 yards standing, which when you've got again 80, 90, 100 people watching you, pretty tough. I mean, the other shoot-offs that had happened on the target, we were the last. And everyone else had hit it within one or two shots, and we were just both absolute toffee. Like we couldn't hit it for love the money. So we both ended up missing it like 3 times, 4 times standing. Went to Neil and he hit it and I missed it. But it was just, I was kind of like a bit of a sickening moment, because you're obviously over the moon that you finished second in the world at such a young age, but you were kind of gutted that you got beaten in that way. I mean, the target to me seemed like a bit of an unfair way to decide a World Championships. I think it should have been maybe a bit more of shoot 8, 10 targets of a different course or something, but that's how they decided to do it. It was stated before we went out there, so you just had to kind of deal with it. I mean, that was, yeah, at 18 it was quite an achievement. Would have been better to have won it then, but yeah, had to deal with it, I guess.
The world champion this week will be a toss-up on current form between Andy Kalpin, but you could never underestimate Simon Ayres.
I don't have anybody out here. Whoever ends up winning it deserves it. So I don't have anybody here that I would just say, no, I don't want that guy to win. If they win it, they deserve it. Good for them.
I don't know, but my money would be on some of the Great Britain guys. Somebody like Conor or Andy Kalpin or John Costello, Simon Evans, all great names. I think they are potential very strong shooters.
Well, I don't know really. There are lots of good shooters. I don't have a favorite because everything can change, you know. So you can ask me that Sunday.
Conor McFlynn. I would say probably couldn't name one for sure, but probably in the top three you would have Andy Calpin, Jack Harris, Simon Ayres maybe.
I'd like to say me, but I'll tell you on the third day.
Me, myself and I.
Well, personally I don't know, but I hope someone new, because there are so many great shooters like Andy Calpin or Pepone. I hope for or my friend John Costello or the Portuguese Miguel.
I hope for me.
Jack Harris. Yeah. This is probably the biggest open one we've seen. Like, there's so many guys from different countries that you don't know about. I don't think it is a favourite this year, but I'd probably, if I had to put some money down, I'd go for probably Jack or Calps at the moment. They're probably the two from the UK. Like.
For me, it could be any of five. You know, there's 5 or 6 guys all on the top form. You've got Harold Bushton, Conor McFlynn, Pepe, Andy Calpin, Simon. There's just too many to call.
I know, but I can't tell you.
This year, John is travelling with his good friend and fierce competitor Simon Ayres. The shy and retiring Mr. Ayres will be travelling the entire way to Germany together with John, sharing a hotel room and then travelling all the way back, both knowing that they're fierce rivals for this year's tournament.
Actually thinking about it, I don't think I could handle it if Simon wins. I've got to travel 25 hours home with him being the world champion and me with my pet leopard. No, it'd be a nightmare.
Shooting against your good friend and bitter rival is not uncommon in field target. This close-knit band of friends travel together from tournament to tournament and country to country to compete for the spoils. Despite spending so much time in the proximity of close rivals, field target shooters maintain a family-like relationship. As always with every family, there's plenty of banter.
Who do you hope doesn't win the World Championship?
Andy Gillett.
Yeah, Andy Calpin.
Oh, actually, I wish everybody all the best.
The rest of the guys. Safe answer.
Who do I hope doesn't? Oh, I've got a long list of Welshmen on that. So, but
Simon Evans, because he's intolerable. Absolutely unbearable if he won it.
I would actually.
It's intolerable.
Simon Evans, 30. Yeah, that's about it really. He's doing my head in.
Andy Gillett. He's lucky with the one last year. Couldn't imagine him winning another one. I really couldn't.
Yeah, that's me, because I couldn't live with myself for the next year. I mean, my head would be like this, you know.
doesn't. I don't know. Birdie.
Oh, Bertie.
Bertie can't win. It would be horrific.
No matter who wins or loses in Germany, the tournament will no doubt be plenty of fun. However, the rules will vary from what John and some of the other shooters are used to in their own countries.
One thing that caught us off guard in Germany was the kneeling position. I've shot field target for 11 years and I've always knelt with my knee on the cushion, just so I don't basically get my trousers dirty or hurt my knee on gravel. But that wasn't allowed in Germany, which caught us by surprise because my second lane was a kneeler. So I had to adapt quickly and they basically wanted the support underneath your ankle.
It's not only the rules that vary, but the courses too. Different countries shoot under different conditions and so set out their courses differently depending on the difficulty level they wish to challenge shooters with.
We mainly shoot 40mm kills from 10 yards to 55. We don't shoot as many mini kills as the Europeans. I think that's just purely because it's windy. Like England we get hammered for wind, so for us, I personally prefer shooting bigger kills at a longer distance because you've got to judge your wind and your environment a lot better. Whereas with the mini kills, when like in Germany, because they're only 25 or 15, 18 yards away, it seemed a bit easy because as long as you know your settings, it's not that tough of a target unless you're in hurricane winds, and because it was quite still. For me, I didn't find the mini kills that tough.
In the UK, wind and rain are a regular feature of field target courses. This means the layout and difficulty of the targets doesn't need to be as extensive to ensure a tough course. The elements provide the biggest challenge. Whereas on the continent, in countries such as Spain, Portugal or Italy, the weather is often dry and the conditions fair. Here the difficulty level is increased with the targets placed in difficult positions, either very high up or down steep banks.
Germany, it was sort of how I imagined it would be. It wasn't quite as severe as I've been told, because the last Worlds that was there, I was told that there was 5 or 6 full-size kill zones and everything else was mini kill, and they were all, you know, a million miles away. Because I was expecting it when it came, it wasn't that hard. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. A lot of inclined shots as well, which was quite tough, so I did a bit of practice beforehand, just practicing on uphill shots. It was more mentally challenging, I think, than anything else, because you had 4 people per lane and your days were quite long, so you were spending 5, 6, 7 hours just shooting, so you've really got to keep yourself hydrated and fueled up, because otherwise you were just knackered by the end of the day. They were quite spread out, the courses as well, so each day you had to walk, I don't know, felt like 7 or 8 miles. It probably wasn't that far, but because there was such a distance between each lane, it got physically draining by the end of the 3rd day as well. So slightly different. They also used lots, as I say, of inclined angles, which was tough. Again, you had to adapt quickly to that, because some of them were over 45 degrees, which is, if you're a big guy, pretty tough to get on. So yeah, just had to adapt your position to get some of the harder targets.
With a tricky course layout and a long day's shooting required due to the high number of entrants, Germany 2013 is set to be a very challenging tournament. Tune in tomorrow for part 3 of our 7-part week-long special following Field Target's John Costello as he prepares for the toughest World Championship yet.